Vians, and welcome to the next part of our reviews of 20 years of New Who. This year is the 20th anniversary of the modern Who, the revival Who that we've been following since 2005. And now we're going to shift focus to 2006, where we're about to see David Tennant step into the shoes as the Doctor, as the 10th Doctor, that is, as he finally carries the legacy of Doctor Who into the first of his 4 years, or I guess 5 years if you look at it that way, of his role as the 10th Doctor. So, Series 2, this is again, 2006. This is a year after Christopher Eccleston bowed out from the show due to conflict behind the scenes, but luckily David Tennant stepped in and he saved the show, disappearing after Christopher Eccleston's exit. But David Tennant brought his own energy to it, and he's such a great. He loved the role. He loves Doctor Who, so of course it makes sense that David Tennant would step in because he was in the same level as Tom Baker. He brought in viewers, and that's what David Tennant did. Let's take a look at the episodes, shall we? What are my favorite episodes of Doctor Who Series 2? I would say School Reunion is the first one, because obviously Sarah Jane Smith, like, who would not want to have the Sarah Jane Smith be acknowledged in this review? Because of course the great Elizabeth Sladen, she was such a lovely character. I mean, she played the character all the way back in the 70s into the 80s, but then during the Tom Baker reign of the show, and then eventually finally came back with David Tennant in this episode, and it was such a great relief to see her again. The fact that she, brought K9 with her, so we got to see her and K9 reunite with the Doctor for the first time in years, and it was such a relief to see Sarah Jane come back. And then obviously it was because of this is what led to the birth of the spin-off of the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was the spin-off for her. Whilst the Doctor was traveling, she was busy taking care of stuff in Bannerman Road. But yeah, it was great. It was great to see them reunite. See the 10th Doctor encountering Sarah Jane. The fact that David Tennant got to work with Elizabeth Sladen obviously was probably a dream of his, so that was very cool to see that. Good story. I actually kind of enjoyed the Cybermen story, Rise of the Cybermen, Age of Steel. I love the way that they reintroduced the Cybermen in the parallel universe, and they called it Pete's World during the series. Obviously, Pete Tyler, obviously a completely different version of Pete Tyler, because of course Rose Tyler's not a girl, it's a dog in that world. And also because, well, Pete Tyler and, like I said, the Jackie in that world didn't really look up to Rose. She didn't really care who she is. She thought that human Rose was just annoying. So, and then of course we have, like I said, the way they revealed the Cybermen, and obviously I will admit the stomping did get on people's nerves. It got in my nerves late as time went on. At first, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind them stomping, even though they were supposed to be silent enemies. You kind of knew they were coming because of the stump, and that was what revealed their presence pretty much. So that's how the Cybermen knew. Pretty much, you knew the Cybermen were coming. Another story that was also powerful, The Girl in the Fireplace. Stephen Moffat's script of Girl in the Fireplace was very beautifully done, very romantic for the Doctor. The fact that he was in love with Mama de Parmento. I probably butchered the pronunciation of the name, but anyway, the fact that he fell in love with that French woman, obviously became the King of France because of it, and very powerful. The fact that he was very touched by her death towards the end. Very powerful story by Moffat. Another story that was also seen as, I thought was really good, a very powerful Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Very emotional and powerful story, because obviously we had Jackie reunite with Pete universe. The fact Rose Tyler gets put into the parallel universe, and then back at home she's now listed as dead in that real world, even though she just ported over parallel universe, which is essentially where Rose Tyler is now. So in other words, Rose Tyler is essentially among the dead, essentially, and people thought that Rose Tyler and Jackie that died when actually they just went to the parallel universe because the Doctor was trying to keep them safe from the Daleks and the Cybermen. Yeah, I think they were mostly the stories I really enjoyed the most. The story I do find very bizarre was Love and Monsters. Like, it was probably the most bizarre story story because of the fact you have someone doing a video diary for most of the story. Yes, I understand that he was very curious about the Doctor because the Doctor was there the day his mother died. At the same time, he kind of upset Rose's mother at the same time, even though he was flirting with her for a bit. So, yeah, that was harsh. Yeah, it was such a it was such a bizarre story, and also Peter Kay is that as Zorbaloff. I mean, the only reason that Zorbaloff was there was because of the Blue Peter stuff, because obviously Blue Peter had a whole design of monster competition, and they had his design as the Absorbaloff brought into the story, and that's how that happened. Yeah, I mean, it was a very bizarre story. I kind of make sense of it, so that's why I was just like, yeah, what? That was pretty much what I was thinking most of the story. Tooth and Claw was a very good one, with the Queen Victoria, even though Queen Victoria was trying to use Torchwood as a way to report about the Doctor. So yeah, that was some. Apart from that, really, that was pretty much the stories I actually enjoyed the most out of this series, really. But overall, I mean, I felt like there was some good stories to kick off David Tennant's run as his first run as the Doctor at the time. The way, obviously, I know he was a bit comedy at times. He also had his serious moments at the same time, so he knew when to be serious, which is a good thing. But of course, David Tennant just liked to he was just bringing in fangirls at the same time, so that's the reason why not many people were too worried about what David Tennant was like, because the fangirls loved him. But anyway, that's basically my thoughts on series 2 of Doctor Who. And also, let's not forget Mickey Smith was brought into the TARDIS during Girl in the Fireplace into the Cybermen story, and then he came back in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday, obviously to bring Rose Tyler to the parallel universe, so that the Doctor could now obviously would have to travel on his own heading into the next series, which of course he would end up finding the next companion during that next series, which we'll talk about in the next review. But nevertheless, let me know what you think of this series in the comment section below, and I will see you all very soon in the next New Who 20 years anniversary special, when we look at series 3, which I felt was a banger of a series. Lots of big drama moments, lots of shocks that happened in series 3 that really get your adrenaline pumping, that series. So yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one.